Hi guys, it is April from Getting Hygge with It. Today I am doing the spring cleaning tag. This was originally created by Book Syrup, but I was tagged by Jen the Librarian. So let's get into it. Number 1, the struggle of getting started. A book or book series that you have struggled to begin because of its size. And for me, this is The Name of the Wind. This is an enormous book. I don't read a lot of fantasy, and so I think there has been some hesitation on my part. I was trying to read this over Christmas and I just couldn't get into it. That said, I do have hopes that I will get back into this because I feel like everyone who's read it has loved it. I think I got like 150 pages in, but I found it slow. So I'm hoping that it picks up. We'll see. Number 2, cleaning out the closet. A book or book series you want to unhaul. Okay, so as you can see with my shelves behind me, space is precious. I keep buying books. I don't know where to fit the books anymore. And I happen to buy all of Philippa Gregory's series, and I read one and didn't like it. And so I'm really nervous that I'm not going to like the rest. And part of me is just thinking, maybe just get rid of them all. But I don't know, and so I've kept on to them. I've kept them on my shelves, so we'll see. Number 3, opening windows and letting fresh air in. A book that was refreshing. And for me, this was Lily and the Octopus. I read this last summer, and I thought this was a beautiful little book about a man's love for his dachshund, Lily. Lily has a formation on her forehead that he calls the octopus, but we all know is cancer, and he's trying to save her. And that sounds like a very sad premise for a book, and yes, it is a sad premise for a book, but the way that he loves his dog and the way that Lily's character comes out, nearly everything that Lily says is in all caps, because dogs are all caps. When they're really well, they are all caps. And I just thought this was a really fresh book. I thought the use of all caps was incredibly fresh, and I'll never look at capitalization like that the same ever again. Number 4, washing out sheet stains. A book you wish you could rewrite a certain scene in. And it's funny that it should be washing out sheet stains, but it is that scene from It. There is a scene in It that made me go, oh, you know, it's a little bit wordy, but it's okay. I'm enjoying it. I'll probably give it 4 stars. 2, what in the world is happening? Why am I reading this? Why are the characters acting like this? This is disgusting. I am horrified, and not in a scary way, but in an immoral, like, oh, I want to throw up kind of way. Yeah. That scene from It. It would have been so much better without that scene, in my opinion. Number 5, throwing out unnecessary knickknacks. A book in a series that you didn't feel was necessary. Okay, so I'm not actually finished this book, but I kind of feel like Beneath the Sugar Sky has been unnecessary in the Every Heart a Doorway series. I loved the first 2 books, and then I got to Beneath the Sugar Sky, which is very short as well, and I've still got 100 pages left because I've just like put it to the side, because I'm not loving it the same way that I love the others. So, I don't know. I shouldn't speak quite yet because I haven't finished it. Number 6, polishing the doorknobs. A book that had a clean finish. And for me, that was The Chalk Man. I loved The Chalk Man. And the ending of The Chalk Man really went from like 4 star to 5 star. It was such a fun, clean ending. I really loved it. And this is a thriller about a group of kids And they are off on summer holiday, and they're writing little chalkman figures to each other to say, hey, let's go to the park today. Hey, we're gonna go to the fair today. And one day they all get these chalkman figures at the end of the driveway, and it leads them to the woods where there's a dismembered body there. And they discover the body. Ooh, so gross, so disturbing. But I really enjoyed that, and I loved the ending. 7, Reaching to Dust the Fan, a book that tried too hard to relay a certain message. And for me, this was The Spider and the Fly. This was a nonfiction book about a serial killer who would kill prostitutes and put them in his attic. He lived with his parents. He was a college student that lived with his parents, and somehow he was able to smuggle them into his home, kill them, and then stuff them in the attic, and nobody knew, and it just seems crazy to me. But the writer of this book is a journalist who had a lot of interactions with this serial killer after he was caught and put into jail. And she tried to relate her own life with his life in a way that just didn't work at all, at all, at all, at all. I thought it was really poorly done. And yeah, I think it's probably my most hated nonfiction book I've ever read. And she just missed the mark to me. Sorry, but there it is. Number 8, The Tiring Yet Satisfying Finish of Spring Cleaning, a book series that was tiring yet satisfying to get through. And for me, this is another nonfiction book called The Fact of a Body. And this is, I feel like this is The Spider and the Fly done right. So in this book, we are following a woman who is a law student, and when she first starts out, she's joined this law firm, and they are talking about a most recent case that they went through, and it is a case about this man who murdered a little boy after abusing him, sexually abusing him, molesting him. And this case brings up a lot for this woman who was sexually abused by her grandfather. And so there are correlations of working through this case and trying to sort out the facts of this case. And in the meanwhile that she's trying to sort out this case, she is sorting out the feelings and the devastation of being abused. And it was one of the hardest books I've ever read, but I'm really glad that I did, and it was really beautifully done, and I really wanted to give her a huge hug by the time I finished. Okay, so looking forward to next spring. Tag 4 people you want to do this tag. I am going to tag Sarai from Sarai Talks Books. I'm going to tag Rachel at The Shades of Orange, Amy at Amy Poole, and I am going to tag Harriet from Harriet Rosie. So I hope that you enjoyed this little tag. If you guys feel like doing the tag, please do. I do tags that I haven't been tagged in all the time, so please go ahead and do it. And I hope you guys are doing well. Bye!